TST Gaming.
What's up guys, Batman here, and today we are going over the spring update for Halo Infinite that's coming, as well as the HCS roadmap and some of the details included. On top of that, we are going to be discussing some of the changes that's going to happen to the sandbox with some of the weapons, what's new, what's being changed, and all that's in between. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about the spring update for 2025 first. Now this is going to launch on Tuesday, which is the 4th of February, and I did watch the community stream, and one of the first things that they talked about was they're updating the way that the operations are going. And so what they're going to do is they're now going to have basically 3 operations per season. So this is the spring update. So we have, it's going to be Operation Frontlines, which is from February 4th, and then the second one is Operation Blue Team on March 11th, and then Operation Forerunner is April 8th. So that's going to be the final one for spring. And how it's going to work is, this is my understanding, they're going to be having 3 operations per season. So basically we're getting an operation per month. And the first one per season is going to be a little bit more sizable. That's what we're going to get, in this case, a little spoiler alert, a new weapon that we're going to be seeing, as you can see on the screen. So we're going to see the bigger changes at the beginning of the real season, but the operations are still going to be smaller in that individual way that we're used to. So we should be getting, I would say, 4 big ones and 8 small ones over the course of the year, which is a lot. I think they're trying to make them monthly, so that way there's more content for people and things to do. Excuse me. And also to help them make a little bit more money. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the Fuel Rod Spanker. Now, this is something that's kind of gotten mixed reactions, and I'm sure that they were aware that it was going to have mixed reactions coming out of the gate. So our first new weapon is, for this season, or this year, whatever you want to call it, is the Fuel Rod Spanker. And that is a fuel rod, which is the guns that the hunters use, and occasionally the grunts in the game, they use, and it shoots big old green blast, right? We all know that and remember those, and being killed by them. And so we're getting that, but in the form of a Spanker model. So we're getting the rocket model and the reload animation as well from the rocket, but the reticle is going to be just like the fuel rod cannon, and it's going to fire 6 rounds of the big green blast. So it's not going to behave like a rocket launcher. And some people don't like this because they feel like it's they feel like it's kind of a cheap way to go about it, especially because from what we understand, there was a Halo 5 version of the field rod gun model in the game that could have been used. So it's interesting that they went this route, but to me it's better to have new weapons that are repurposed than no new weapons at all. So if this is the only way we're going to get new weapons, I'm for it. Now, we are going to be getting a new weapon in the future called the Mutilator, and it's a Banished themed shotgun that's being targeted for the summer update. So I think they're going to try to add a new weapon every major update. So it says right here, as noted in the above section, the first operation of each major update offers heftier additions like new sandbox weapons. As we look ahead, we can indeed confirm that the Mutilator, a Banished themed shotgun, is actively being worked on by the team and is targeting the summer update. So we should be seeing a new weapon, it sounds like, every 3 months, which would actually be a lot of... This is what they should have been doing to begin with. And that's a whole different topic. Don't get me started on what I think that their plan was versus what actually happened. So with the Operation Pass, it's also evolving. So what they're doing is, it says, thus far, each Operation Pass has offered 20 tiers of rewards, typically including a themed set of armor, additional customization elements such as emblems and Spartan points to use in the exchange, and bonus items for those who purchase the pass. This year, we wanted to expand our offering to players, so here's what you can expect to see when Operation Frontlines arrives on February 4th. So for those enjoying, they said basically if you're a free Operation player, it's going to be pretty much more or less the same as what you've expected. But it says playing Halo Infinite during the active window of the operation lets you unlock 20 reward tiers as you complete matches or earn XP. However, if you're unable to finish all or part of it during the month, the free customization content will be free will be available, sorry, to acquire with Spartan points in the exchange as part of Infinite's next major update in the summer. So they're starting to make it to where, oh hey, you missed out on the 10 right armor. If let's say that was the last season, it's okay. It's going to be in the exchange in the near future, so you can still get it, which is a great way for them to give you something to spend your currency on that you've been earning. So the thing that they're doing is that they're really changing is the premium side of things. So they're making an expanded pass, which will be available for the first operation of each update. And the second and third operations will offer the traditional 20 tier. So for the 3 that we're getting, so we're getting Operation Frontlines, that's going to be a 50 tier pass. Then in March, when we're getting Blue Team, we're going to be getting a 20 tier pass. And then we're getting another 20 tier pass for the third one. I don't remember what it was called. I think it was a Forerunner specific one. So it's going to be very interesting to see this new way. Now, what they're saying that this will help is, it says, but where previous operation passes have featured one armor set, one particular look for your Spartan, the new incarnation of this premium pass will now offer 4 full armor sets. These will be unlocked as you progress through 50 tiers of rewards. Now, the price of the operation has been slightly adjusted for this offering, providing the following changes. So it's 1,000 credits to get the bonus XP, an extra challenge slot. It immediately gives you multiple bonus items and provides the ability to earn 4 full armor sets. So this is, again, if you pay 1,000 credits, which I believe is about $10. I want to say that the premium operations were 500 credits, so about $5. So the fact that they're increasing the price, but they are offering 30 more slots, the question is what's going to be really filling these slots. They mentioned armor slot or armor pieces, which is great, but it just seems like a lot more work. Like, how many do they already have in the tube ready to go? Like, have they been building a lot of these armor sets that just haven't been released, and they're like, you know what, now let's just try to sell these, make some money, which I understand. It's a business. It's a free-to-play game. This is how they make money. So I'm not complaining on that. But I'm wondering if it's like they had a bunch in the tube and they were going to slowly roll them out, and then they're like, we need a new marketing plan. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase the price by doubling it, but we're going to really just start throwing these things out there so people want to buy them, which is a smart thing. So I'm not complaining about that. They are keeping the, I want to say, I don't know if it's the same price as before because I've never done this, but the 2,500 credits, it instantly unlocks the first 20 levels out of the 50. So I don't know how much that has changed, if at all, but I've never done that. I've always liked to just unlock it and earn it personally. But I'm glad we're getting more stuff to be able to unlock. It'll be a lot of fun. Because I feel like you can get everything done in maybe a couple days. It's not a big deal, and it's like all we do for the month. And I know that they're not making it where you have to play it consistently, but I think it's going to be worth it. Now, they did say for this next one, the premium access for all 50, you get to unlock the BR-75A2 hammer weapon model for the BR-75. It says Xenothreat weapon coding, sequence assembly weapon charm, and pattern seeker visor. So it sounds like they're also increasing the premium access or the premium pass, because when you buy the premium pass, you get a bonus. It's usually like a weapon model, which I really enjoy because it allows you to feel like the games are, or the weapons you're using look and feel a little different than they usually do. So now the fact that they're doing a weapon coding, a weapon charm, and a visor all in one, that's just the first one. Now I don't know if we're going to be seeing that for the other two smaller operations, so it'd be interesting to see how they do that, if they're just going to do one item, which is understandable, like, you know, one item on the 20 tier passes versus 4 items for the big pass, because that's where they really want to, you know, get that money. Because my guess would be that the operation pass, well, it says 1,000 credits. I'm wondering if it's going to actually be, that's supposed to be for the 50. They don't really specify for the 20. It'll be very interesting. It might be, it says second, third operation will offer the traditional 20 tier operation pass offering. So my guess would be just one item for those. So it's going to be a weapon coding or a weapon model of some sort typically. So let's go ahead and move on. We're getting Assault, which has been a Halo gameplay fan favorite since Halo 2 when it launched. And I'm so excited to see this come back. It's already been confirmed that it's going to be in Ranked and HCS. So I'm super thrilled with that because I think it'll really change the game because it's very different. It's basically capture the flag in reverse. Instead of trying to go to an enemy base, steal something, and bring it back, you're trying to get a bomb and then take it to the enemy base and blow it up. And from what I'm understanding, they're planning on doing, at least in HCS, I want to say it's neutral bomb, not one bomb, although one bomb would have been a lot of fun. I'll have to double check that. Once we get to that, I'll be able to tell you what's going to happen for sure. So with this, it does say that the bombastic action will be available in both 4v4 and squad battles 8v8 modes. So if you've been jonesing for some one bomb on high ground or Kusini Bay, the wait ends today. Technically it ends on Tuesday, but anyways, so I'm super excited for that. Now we're gonna get into the sandbox updates. Now, one thing I will say is I thought that the dynamo grenades have been a little OP, at least in social. I've been playing as much rank because I've been kind of busy, and so I haven't been like really focused. But at least in social, it feels like dynamo grenades are a little too magnetic with their chain arc, if you will. So I was surprised to see that they did not make the sandbox updates. However, a lot of pros, I know Lucid himself has said that he was excited to see how these play out, and he doesn't think there should be any gentleman's agreement on not using anything, at least until they're getting familiar with it. So, weapon 1 is Heat Wave. So basically what they're trying to do with this one is they want to make it to where the range isn't as accurate. And so what they did is they did the distribution function when it says custom position for vertical, because a lot of people like to use vertical because it's all the shots hitting one target versus horizontal. So this one, they actually made the rounds per second a little bit slower, and they made it more custom direction. So instead of it being going straight out, the longer it goes, the more it spreads out, right? Like a fan. So that one's going to be interesting that it got a nerf, and I think it's going to be a good one. Stalker Rifle, they lowered the rounds per second by 0.1 seconds, so a tenth of a second. And they think that most people aren't going to even really notice the difference. Maybe some pros or people who play regularly, but they say for the most part it's just slowing it down just a little bit, so that way it's not a must-have, but it's still important. The Disruptor, they did say that on ranked maps that the Disruptor will have its ammo reduced. That way it's not overpowered in ranked play. Now they changed a bunch of things on this. I'm not going to go through all of it. You see it right here. But basically they just made it to where the deceleration time for lower and upper bound has gone up, and then the max error angle has been changed, as well as the minimum error angle. So they're trying to make it to where it's less important, and it'll take longer to have its bloom kind of reset, right? So that way it results in less impact with smaller targets. The next is the Bulldog. So the rounds per second is going down from 1.67 down to 1.55, and they removed the headshot damage multiplier on health completely, which I didn't even know there was one. It made sense, but they got rid of it. So that way it's just more about wherever you hit it, you're not getting any kind of bonus damage. Shock Rifle, this one has been one that I think needed to be done. They said a lot of people use it at hip fire, which if you're not familiar means that you're not scoped in, you're just firing from the hip, right? And so you're not zoomed in. And people are using it still very effectively without needing that precision zoomed in shot. So what they did is they reduced magnetism and some of the angles and whatnot and fall off range to compensate for that. So you're going to want to get those nice shots going off and take just that extra moment for better precision. The AR, they said that that the bloom was too much at the beginning when you first fire and you're holding down the gun. And so what they did is the initial accuracy is improved, and then it will start to bloom a little slower, basically, over time. Let me rephrase that. So basically, the initial accuracy is improved, and then the longer you hold down the trigger, it's going to start to have more bloom. They also removed the headshot damage multiplier on health to nothing. And starting ammo is down in ranked games. I mean, it's going from 108 to 36, so it's going to be basically one clip, which I think is good, because I find when I get in close range, I can easily kill someone with an AR versus a BR. I usually switch from my precision weapon to that because it tears people up really quickly. So the next thing is the grenade. So this is a big change. Frag grenade physics. They're going to make it to where the bouncing is a little different. And so everyone who's like, oh yeah, I know if I throw it here, it's going to land here. Anyone who's been practicing it for this way for the last few years, that's going to change. you're going to have to get used to it being slightly more bouncy from what it sounded like. So hopefully this will be better, because I do feel like the grenades in Infinite aren't quite as good as they have been in previous Halo titles. The other thing is the grenade cast time, which is how long it takes for you to throw it. Now, they said that this was the fastest time, and they have a chart right here. They put all the Halo titles and their speed for grenades per second. So going down there in CE, you know, we started at 1.07, Halo 2 1.13, Halo 3 1.07, Reach went down big time by 0.99, but I don't feel like it was too bad. And then 4 was 0.89, and now Infinite before this update is 0.79. So it was a tenth of a second faster than any of the second closest Halo, which was 4. Now they said they wanted to improve it and kind of bring it more in line with how it used to be in previous titles. So it's going to be updated to 0.92, which actually kind of puts it between Reach and Halo 4, but still faster than the initial Halo trilogy. Movement. This is another huge, huge thing. They are changing strafe acceleration, where the acceleration scaler is going to move a little bit slower. So it's supposed to combat jiggle peaking, so you're not doing it as often, because it also just makes it feel unnatural to a certain degree when your opponents are changing directions at seemingly unnatural speeds. They're able to go back and forth. There's no that, like, stopping the inertia in the movement of it before you can do this. It's just like going back and forth, when it should be a little bit like this, and then you move back, and there should be that slight decrease. And so they're changing it from 1 to 0.78. Now, ranked updates, we're getting a new map, which is called Origin. It is a remake of Halo 5's Coliseum, which is arguably the greatest map from Halo 5 specifically. And it says it's going to be available in Ranked Arena, Ranked Slayer, Ranked Doubles when it drops. It'll also appear in regular matchmaking playlist as well. Assault is also going to be there as well. So in order to win in Neutral Assault Bomb, so Ranked Arena will feature an Assault Neutral Bomb ranked in both Aquarius and Fortress. The score to win is 3 points. I don't know if Aquarius is the best map for this. The thing that I remember most from playing like Halo 2 and everything and trying to play bombs was on Zanzibar. It's a very big map, and so I liked it because there were so many different routes you could take. With something like Aquarius, there are map routes you can take that'll be interesting, but I don't know. I don't know if it's the right one. I do think that they should have included one bomb as well, because some of those asymmetrical maps would have been a lot of fun to see how that played out. Now, I was also hoping that Midships Remake Inquisitor would be in the ranked matches or HCS this year, but it's not. But the new ranked rotational playlist is Ranked Squad Battle, which is 8v8, Bandit Evo starts, and a lot of different modes, including Assault. So that'll be a lot of fun. For the ranked map updates, they are changing things to sandbox refresh the maps themselves that are going to be in ranked. So Camo is, for Aquarius, Camo is now replacing Overshield in top middle. Threat Seeker is replacing the plasma grenades on Hydro, which will definitely change the way that I play the game, because I like to blow those up or pick them up. It's usually a good spot. Empyrean, Assault Rifle, and Commando Rifles are swapping locations. Plasma Pistols move to the alley, and Repulsor moved to Terminal, as well as Overshield moved to Underpass. And I think that's to make it a little bit, with Overshield at least, I think it's going to make it a lot more dangerous territory if you're trying to get to it. It's not as hidden, where you have a little bit more protection to pick it up, because then that way you can't just pick it up and as you go to shoot it or start to trigger it, someone might snipe you. On Forbidden, we're going to be seeing battle rifles to the front of the bases, and Thrust replaced the Threat Seeker at Big Door. Live Fire, battle rifle added to Turbine, so not a lot changed there. Recharge, shock rifle has been placed on a power weapon pad to align with the properties of Solitude. So it's going to be on a pad rather than on the wall. Personally, I like the wall better than the pads, but that's just me. Just feels more realistic that way. Solitude. Commando rifle replacing Bandit at bottom mid, and then added battle rifle to blue ramp. Streets, Bulldog replaced with a sidekick at commercial district. So that'll be interesting to see with a sidekick, because then you're not having that. And I think it's because they don't know how it's going to feel with the new shotgun update. So I think they wanted to just, everyone can use everything, let's just kind of play a little bit safer, and so they went with the sidekick. So one other thing they said about these maps is that they're adding some new geometry to a few of them. to allow for some jumps. Now, the jumps that I was seeing was like, for example, Aquarius base. You can now jump from the front. There's a little corner with a panel. You can jump on that panel and jump inside of the base fairly easy. So it'd be very interesting to see new routes and things of that nature that people have not seen before in this game that will be the new meta, more or less. Now, it does specify that these new jump routes will only be available on the ranked versions of Aquarius, Forbidden, Recharge, and Streets. They are doing a matchmaking rank reset, which is to be expected. My guess they're going to do this every time at the beginning of the season, the spring season. I wish they would call it like spring season and then like operation or event 1, event 2, or big event, something. So it's a little bit more clear for players. Forge updates, they added obviously the fuel rod spanker and bomb object been added to Forge, and they did some updates for nav marker functionality, set object team, and a bunch of other things. I'll go ahead and just highlight for you if you are interested in that. But that's the spring update, and I'm very excited about it because it seems like it's going to really shift things. I play a lot more social these days than ranked. It's just, it takes forever to find a game. The team I was playing with, we kind of just don't play as much as we used to. We all have different schedules now and lives, and it makes it a lot harder when you got responsibilities as an adult. But next up, we're going to talk about HCS, the HCS 2025 roadmap. And I'm going to zoom in right here. So we have, for the roadmap, 5 major events. I don't want to necessarily call it majors because it's not. One of them is an open and one is the championship itself. So we have 5 big events. We have HCS Major in Arlington, Texas, hosted by Optic, will be April 18th through 20th. The HCS Open Dallas, Texas DreamHack will be May 23rd through 25th. For the Salt Lake City HCS Major, which is in my home state of Utah, so I'm very excited. It's going to be August 1st through 3rd. It usually is towards the beginning of September, so I'm glad they moved it back because September's already busy with Comic-Con at our area and whatnot. And then the last one is going to be a FaZe Clan Major. It's to be announced location, and it's meant to be early fall, but we don't have any specific details other than that. Then, of course, the World Championships, as always, takes place in Seattle, Washington in October. This will be the 24th through the 26th for the prize pool of $1 million. So there's the schedule, right? And they do have, like, as you could see, if you're like, well, how do I get a part of that? They have the open dates on that picture as well, qualifiers and whatnot. There's also FaZe Casons, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Showdown. 4 teams are invited, which is going to be FaZe Clan, Optic Gaming, Shopify Rebellion, and Space Station Gaming are invited for this tournament for $50K. And that'll be in Dallas, Texas. It's not one that you can attend from what I remember hearing on the live stream. It's going to be streamed on his Twitch channel, so twitch.tv/Cason. And it's on March 29th. Now, I don't know if I'll be covering that one. I'm kind of busy in March, so we'll find out. But I'm hoping to cover most, if not all, these events. Now, this is what I really wanted to get to, the HCS 2025 maps and modes. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, so if it gets a little blurry, excuse it. I'm just trying to make it as easy for you guys to see. So for Slayer, we're getting Aquarius, Livefire, Origin, the new map, Recharge, Solitude, and Streets. CTF, we're getting Aquarius, Forbidden, Fortress, and Origin. And then King of the Hill, we're getting Livefire, Recharge, and Solitude. And then Strongholds, we're getting just Livefire and Recharge. Oddball, we're getting Livefire, Recharge, and Streets. And then Neutral Bomb, so it's going to be a bomb in the middle. Think if you ever played Dodgeball, where they put the ball in the middle, or the ball's in the middle. In this case, it's one ball, and it's just a bomb. So they're going to be rushing to the middle to try to get control of that bomb and then plant it. So it'll be very interesting. That's going to be on Aquarius and Fortress. But you may notice that Empyrean's not on this list at all. They decided to give it a break. But if you enjoy Halo Infinite and enjoy HCS, I mean, follow the channel because I'm going to be trying to keep you guys up to date with everything that's going on. Any roster mania problems or issues in mid-season because things like that have happened. But that's all we have for today. So if you did enjoy watching this video, please subscribe. And until next time, just play.